Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday, March 29th, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass. Today we are going to cover ignorant comments by idiots. Mind you, those idiots are in charge of the free world and dictate how millions of Americans' lives go via the economy, freedoms, liberties, etc. And we're just going to go over some of the actual things these people have said. And mind you, these people claim to be intelligent, smart, and they run to a camera and microphone every chance they get to make a complete fool of themselves. So at some point, you got to kind of lighten the load of all of this evil and corruption and deceit and deception. And you just got to show these people who they really are. Kind of like Drewski with the Erica Kirk skit. He didn't say anything outlandish, rude, disrespectful. He literally imitated her pretty much to a T, and everyone is offended by it. Erica Kirk offends me. She played a role in murdering Charlie Kirk and taking over his organization and completely doing a 180 with what Charlie Kirk wanted done with his organization. So I'm offended by her being complicit in the murder of her husband. But I digress. As always, we want to honor the man responsible for these videos, these shows, every email, every phone call across this country, be it federal casework to Ro Khanna, Thomas Massie, Robert Garcia, Sarah Jacobs, Tom Cole, whether it be emails to Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, Coach Colin, Whitney Webb, numerous other media outlets, or whether it be phone calls to 911 on Pedophile Hill, Library of Congress 911, local law enforcement. This man right here, Kelly L. Hansen, 16 years worth of victims of children. He is kidnapped, raped, tortured, murdered, and sold using his position as a state judge in Marietta, which is in Riverside County, California, to do so. And he kidnapped my 7-year-old son Thursday, September 9th of 2021. I went to the FBI to report this serial child killer Monday, September 13th of 2021. And the FBI has spent years retaliating against me because of the amount of victims this serial child killer has. And this man stuck his dick in my 7-year-old son and murdered my child, and I can't get my child's teeth, toenails, fingernails, or hair back from the United States government as they adamantly defend the rape, murder, torture, and sale of American children. And as always, we'll give a shout out to our sponsor, the President of the United States himself, Mr. Child Rapist, the world's most famous child rapist, Donald J. Trump, who now has a presidential combo at McDonald's where you can get the McFetus sandwich, a large fry, and a Diet Coke for $999.99. That's the McFetus sandwich. It's fried baby flesh between the buns of a fillet of fish with a large fry and Diet Coke, $999.99 at participating locations. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. And with that out of the way, let's put on full display the words of, I would say, some of the most ignorant people on planet Earth. The United States government. Now, this is what I prepared for today's show. It's just one full page. I had to cut it off because I was getting so many comments, and I could have done a whole show on just Donald Trump himself, Mr. Pedophile punk Donald Trump. Could have done a whole show with the ignorant comments he's made, the gestures and all of that. But I decided to spread it out a little bit. There's so many to choose from and so much ignorance on display that, it's low-hanging fruit, as they say. So let's start, since we mentioned Drewski and the Erica Kirk skit. Let's start with Erica Kirk, and I have a couple littered throughout here about her, but this one really just caught me off guard. I had to pause it, replay it, and I couldn't wrap my brain around what she said. Strong white male men. Is she talking about United States postal workers? Strong white male men. Is she? I'm not sure what she was referring to in that. I don't know if she meant men twice. Male men. Are there female men? Am I missing something? Is this like Newman from Seinfeld, the postal worker? What? Strong white male men. Yeah, figure that one out. Oh, this is a good one. This is our new Department of Homeland Security Secretary, Mark Wayne Mullins. The TSA is working for free because of political politics. Political politics. I'm not sure what that even means. I don't. The TSA is working for free because of political politics. I don't think Grok could figure that one out. I don't use AI. I don't get that deep into technology. So maybe if someone wants to ask Grok or Siri, what is political politics? What is that? What is that? I don't know. This was a good one. This is our Treasury Secretary. I've got a couple of comments from him, Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent said, removing sanctions from Iranian and Russian oil is mind jujitsu. I'm sorry, what? Allowing your enemies to sell oil and make money and increase their profit margins on their gross domestic product is mind jujitsu? We're at war with Iran right now, and you remove sanctions, allowing them to sell their oil at a higher cost and make more money for themselves, and that's mind jujitsu? Maybe I should ask Scott Bessent if he has change and give him a 10 and say, do you have 2 20s for a 10? I think he would probably say sure and give me $40 for $10. I hope I get a chance to meet Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, because that's the first question I would ask him. Sir, do you have 2 20s for a 10? I believe I could make a pretty good profit margin off of him. It's mind jujitsu to remove sanctions from Iranian and Russian oil while we're at war with Iran. Okay. This was a good one. This one kind of got swept under the rug not long after it was said. It had a big flare up and it was gone just as fast as it came. But I haven't forgotten it. This is our great Fox News host. We all know Fox News. They're running the Department of Defense right now. You know, the Fox News host running the Department of Defense that can't describe a war plan. And if you ask him to, well, that would be nonsense. But we're not at war. It's an excursion. It's military strikes. It's a war, but it's not a war. But it's a war, but it's not a war. We're winning the war that's not a war. But I digress. Let's just offer involuntary euthanization of all homeless people. That's Brian Kilmeade and Fox News. That's their suggestion to fix homelessness in the United States of America. Involuntary euthanization. So let's just mass murder everyone who can't afford a home or an apartment or missed a paycheck, because most of America is living paycheck to paycheck right now. And honestly, I think if 60% of the country missed 2 or 3 paychecks, they would probably be facing eviction. They would definitely be losing whatever, automobiles, things like that. So Brian Kilmeade says, involuntary euthanization of all homeless people in the United States of America. Genius, Fox News and Brian Kilmeade. Genius. Mass murder, American citizens because they can't afford homes. Genius. Genius. Okay, the next one is from the king of stupid himself, Donald J. Trump, the world's most famous child rapist. Iran is obliterated. They have no military, they have no leadership, but we're negotiating with their leadership. I'm confused. If they have no leadership, how are you negotiating with their leadership? Oh, that's right. We murdered the Ayatollah, and then we murdered the next Ayatollah. Supposedly, this is what they say. And they have no leadership, but Donald Trump's negotiating with the leadership. Also, they've had their communications obliterated. They can't talk to each other. But the President of the United States can call 18 hours, 6,300 miles across the world, and he can get right through it to them. But they can't talk to each other in the same country. Remind you, this is ignorant comments by idiots. Ignorant comments by idiots. But wait, there's more. This was a good one. This was an oldie but a goodie. It hasn't gone away yet. Epstein trafficked no one to no one. If he would have trafficked children or underage girls to anyone, I would have brought a case yesterday. Anyone know who that is? That'd be Kash Patel. Kash Patel says that Epstein trafficked no one to no one because I can't read the files correctly because my eyes don't work correctly. Epstein trafficked no one to no one. That is the director of the FBI. Former podcaster. So we have Fox News running the Department of Defense. We have podcasters running the FBI. We have more, but wait, there's more. Have you seen the Dow? Have you seen the Dow Jones? The great Pamela Jo Bondi, in charge of the Department of Justice, when asked, has a single pedophile or child rapist been charged, investigated, or arrested in regards to the Epstein files? Her response was, have you seen the Dow? Have you seen the Dow? The Dow Jones is over 50,000. Well, Pamela Jo, we have seen the Dow Jones. Not looking too good. We're going to get those investigations rolling. Can we get some pedophiles and child rapists arrested? How about some murderers? How about State Judge Kelly Hansen of Marietta? 16 years worth of murdering, raping, torturing, abusing, trafficking, and selling children. How about Greg Laurie from Harvest Church? Can we get an arrest on that one? How about even an investigation into Erica Kirk playing a role in the conspiracy to publicly murder her own husband so she could take over his organization and inherit hundreds of millions of dollars? Can we get that? Oh, we're not investigating that? We're not talking about that? We're not doing that here in America? We're not doing the whole law and order, truth and justice. We're not doing that here. We're doing like the satanic cabal of cannibals eating children. We're going to make sure that people can eat children and rape children instead of investigate people who murder children. My bad. That's my mistake. I was reading that silly old Constitution. I thought we lived in a civilized society. My mistake. I didn't realize we were a fifth world country. We went right from first class to fifth world real quick. But wait, there's more. No new wars. We're going to have the golden age of America. The golden age of America. No new wars. Yeah. And he brought peace to the Middle East. And he's ended 8 wars and deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. The man who dropped a Tomahawk missile on a girls' school and murdered 165, I believe it is, 165 innocent children bombed, murdered by a Tomahawk missile of the United States military. That man deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Peace in the Middle East. When was that? October of last year that Donald Trump brought peace to the Middle East. Remember that? Peace in the Middle East. Yeah. Great job. Let's see. Oh, this is good. These are Donald J. Trumps. This is what I was telling you. I could have done literally 2 pages on just Trump alone, but I decided to spread it out. I didn't want to play favorites and make just one person look stupid when there's so many stupid people to choose from. I mean, we don't need or use the Strait of Hormuz. We don't need it or use it. Yet our gas prices keep going up from the Strait of Hormuz being closed. So how does that work? How does that work exactly? That makes no sense to me. This was a good one. This was one of my favorites. This literally had me laughing out loud when I saw it for the first time, which was months back. Lindsey Graham is gay. Lindsey Graham is gay. I'm under oath. So I got to tell the truth. Lindsey Graham is gay. Laura Loomer, under oath, while not even being asked a question. There was no question asked. Even the attorney, when she said Lindsey Graham is gay, the attorney said, Miss Loomer, no one asked you a question. I know, I'm under oath though, so Lindsey Graham is gay. So, but nobody asked you a question. Yeah, Lindsey Graham's gay. Yeah, this is, again, ignorant comments by idiots. This is the cabal of cannibals and child molesters and all of the creatures on Pedophile Hill. Yeah, this is where we're at. This was a good one. 100% of people support the war in Iran. That's a CNN poll. Let that sink in. 100% of the people support the war in Iran. That's a CNN poll. Unfortunately, they only polled one person, and that was Lindsey Graham. And I guess statistically that is accurate if you only ask Lindsey Graham if he supports the war in Iran, and then you publish the poll saying that 100% of people support the war in Iran, the bombing of school children, murdering of civilians, bombing of hospitals. Yeah, that's a great idea. This was a good one. Let's circle back to Miss Erica Kirk, the murderer of her husband. Superman neck stopped the .30-06 bullet from going through. Because Charlie Kirk's neck was like Superman's neck because he ate so healthy that a .30-06 bullet was stopped by his neck. That's Erica Kirk. Genius. These people must be Harvard and Yale graduates, MIT, Brown. Best of the best, sir. Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, every YouTuber across America was out firing every possible .30-06 round they could get their hands on, and it was shattering steel, femur bones, neck bones. Basically, they couldn't find anything to stop the .30-06 bullets. But Charlie Kirk's neck did, according to his wife, who inherited his business and took over hundreds of millions of dollars just 72 hours after he was brutally murdered in front of the whole world on video. Yeah, that's great. This is a good one. I didn't even know this was said until I was doing research for this show, and then I had to read it twice to make sure I was legitimately reading this correctly. I haven't washed my hands in 10 years because germs aren't real because I can't see them. That's Pete Hegseth, who said he hasn't washed his hands in 10 years because germs aren't real because he can't see them. Let's hope that Pete Hegseth tests the theory of gravity and jumps off the tallest building he can find because he can't see gravity. Let's just hope that Pete Hegseth gets an idea, an inkling on the theory of gravity and decides to defy it and jump off a tall building. That would be great. Yeah, again, ignorant comments by idiots. Another Pete Hegseth quote: "No stupid rules for engagement." like bombing children's schools. I guess Pete Hegseth thinks that murdering innocent children who have nothing to do with any wars or politics or government, I guess he thinks that's a stupid rule of engagement, that you can't just bomb children's schools. Yeah, that's where we are in the United States of America in 2026. We mass murder children and think it's a stupid rule of engagement that says we're not supposed to do that. Great. Yeah. This was a good one. This one, I don't know. It got blown over, but let's revisit it and let's bring it back. This is one of the greatest things. Not greatest. Let me rephrase that. This is one of the biggest Freudian slips I've ever seen in my life. Literally a Freudian slip. A Freudian slip is where you accidentally tell the truth. Let's stop attacking pedophiles. The great Ted Cruz said that in Congress. Let's stop attacking pedophiles. Ted Cruz, ladies and gentlemen. That should be his campaign slogan. That should be his slogan if he runs for re-election. That should be plastered everywhere. That should be on a shirt with his profile picture. Let's stop attacking pedophiles. Ted Cruz, ladies and gentlemen. These are the leaders of the free world saying these things. This was just said, I believe, Friday. This is hot off the presses. Just said Friday. I like to surround myself with losers. That's President Donald J. Trump, the pedophile punk. I like to surround myself with losers. I guess that explains Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, Scott Bessent, all of the people on this list. No wonder Erica Kirk's in the White House. I like to surround myself with losers. It makes me feel better. Because I don't want to hear about other people's success. I want people to listen to me and my success. These are exact words of pedophile punk Donald Trump, Mr. Child Rapist, Child Beater, Murderer himself. Let me say that again because I can't believe here's one. I can't believe he said it out loud. That's one thing. Actually, we can see you like to surround yourself with losers. You got a Fox News host running the Department of Defense. You got podcasters in the FBI. You got a whore running the Department of Justice. We can see you got whores surrounding you everywhere. Laura Loomer, whore. Kristi Noem, whore. Pam Bondi, whore. Some of these women, I have heard, these are rumors. Now, I cannot confirm nor deny. But I've heard in the summer that if their shorts aren't tight enough, it sounds like people are clapping when they walk down the streets. I'm not confirming or denying that, but I've heard Kristi Noem sounds like a stadium full of applause when she walks down the streets in shorts. Might want to get that looked at, Kristi. Maybe they can do some plastic surgery or something. I've heard it's a firecracker wrapped in roast beef. Yeah. One more time, I like to surround myself with losers. Now, how would you feel if your boss said that about you? I think I'd pretty much know how my boss felt about me. I'm a loser. I think it's time to move on to bigger and better things and make a career change. If my boss says, I like to surround myself with losers. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Indeed pretty quick looking for another job. Another Donald Trump. This was, I believe, Friday or Saturday. This is hot off the presses. I'm going to take some questions from the media now, and you can ask me anything. You can ask me about sex. An 80-year-old child rapist, pedophile, murderer, scumbag at 80 years old wants the media to ask him about sex. When's the last time you talked to an 80-year-old person about sex, let alone the President of the United States of America? Who says that? Who says that out loud? I don't know if I've ever said those words to anyone. You can ask me anything. Ask me about sex. 80 years old, you're the President of the United States of America, and you tell the media to ask you about sex? You can pull these clips up. You can pull these statements. Google the question, you'll see that, yeah, Donald Trump said that. Who wants to ask an 80-year-old child rapist about sex? We know about your sex there, Mr. Pedophile Punk. We know about your sex life. It involves 12 and 13-year-olds. It involves violence and blood and gore. No, thank you. No, thank you. So my last one, we're at the 25-minute mark. I'm going to try to wrap this out. This one was on Fox News, as usual, and you can Google this clip. This was back when the farmers couldn't sell the soybeans because China was buying soybeans from Argentina instead of the United States. And Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, who's worth, I believe, in the neighborhood of hundreds of millions of dollars, says, he told Maria Bartiromo this, I'm a soybean farmer. Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury of the United States of America, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, claimed to be a soybean farmer. Again, ladies and gentlemen, these are ignorant comments by idiots, and these idiots are in charge of the free world. No wonder our country is in the dregs. Bless me. So we're going to close always with a Bible verse, and I had to do a kind of lighthearted show today. Like I said, the evil, the doom, the gloom, the depravity, the lack of humanity. If you consume too much of it, it will devour you. It will take you over. It will change your mood, change your mindset, change your perception. And I refuse to allow that to happen. I maintain a positive mental attitude. I maintain a good spiritual life, good relationship with God, reading every day, praying every day, meditating every day. So I thought I would just point out the ignorant comments by idiots in the United States government today. And as always, it is day 1662 since serial child killer state judge Kelly Hansen kidnapped my 7-year-old son, stuck his dick in my 7-year-old son, and murdered my 7-year-old son. I'm trying to get my son's teeth, toenails, fingernails, and hair back from the United States government. But out of pure spite and revenge for reporting all of this, they refuse to return my child's remains to me. I will continue to call, email, and make these videos every single day until I get the dental remains back of my murdered child, courtesy of the United States government. God bless America. Shabbat Shalom. So let's close with, I was reading this last night before bed, and when I read it, I just read this one passage, and I put it down. I thought I got to read this tomorrow for the show. So we're in Romans 13:11. Romans 13:11. And do this, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Therefore let us cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk properly, as in the day, not in revelry and drunkenness, not in lewdness and lust, not in strife and envy. Put on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill its lust. Now is the time. Now is the time. The day is upon us. I think we all see this is the tribulation, the end of days, the trials and tribulations that we are going to face because evil is being exposed like it's never been exposed before, whether it's the corruption, the deceit, the lies, the child sex trafficking, the cannibalism of children, on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will just take some time, read your Bible with an open mind and an open heart, and see what's going on in this world. Let me pull up my GoFundMe page. If anyone wants to help this podcast, I'm trying to get a laptop, which I'm on a tablet with a camera, and that's it. I'm trying to get a laptop, a microphone, and an interface so I can show things on the screen as I do them instead of having to hold my phone up. But, you know, it's okay if that's what we got to do. So, here's the GoFundMe. Right here. That's the picture. You can find it on GoFundMe if anybody wants to donate. I don't need money. I don't need cash. If you want to donate a laptop, if you want to donate a microphone, an interface, a gift card to a Walmart or anywhere where I can pick these things up to help this podcast, that would be great. If you could just please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, share this video. I will make these videos every single day to raise awareness about the rape, murder, sale, and cannibalism of children by the United States government until I get my child's dental remains, toenails, fingernails, and hair back. And even after that happens, I will still keep making these videos until the United States government stops raping, murdering, and eating children. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I will see you tomorrow.